2 years ago, we bought a VW Caddy and it looked like this. We said that as soon as we finished upgrading it, we'd give you a van tour, and it's finally here. So keep watching for our VW Caddy van tour. So first, let's get started with a tour of the inside. Let's have a little look at our van in terms of how we use it when it's set up for the day. So, over on the right, we have our sofa area. Now this is actually made up of 2 children's mattresses from IKEA, which handily turned out to be the right size for our little Caddy. So what we've done is use these in the day for our sofa area and just covered it with a lovely throw. And then in the evening, it's really simple to convert that out into a bed. Over on the left here, we have some more storage and also our bookshelf. So down here we have our storage box, which is where we keep our games, our lanterns, and all the things we use for a cosy evening in the van. And up on the left here, we have our bookshelf. Both Tom and I love reading books, so we thought it was really important to have a bookshelf in our van. And it's also a really handy storage area for our guides when we're out and about on a road trip. So currently we've got the latest No Fuss travel guide from Robbie Rome's, which is all about planning a trip to Northumberland, and also Destination Atlantic Way, which is from Highlands to Hammocks. So Gemma and Campbell over at Highlands to Hammocks have released that book. We've also got some really handy pouches, which in the evening we can use for storing our phones, for storing our chargers, and all of those bits are from IKEA. As we come to the back of the van, we've got a few details which Tom actually added since we've bought the van. So first up is our really handy table, which is great for being able to cook off the back of the van, particularly on beautiful sunny days like today. And the second thing we've added are these really great curtains. So before we installed these, we had some really simple blinds that clipped onto the glass, but we often felt that those weren't very efficient and would often fall off in the night. So Tom's actually put these into the van, which are fantastic and clip really easily into place, which mean that it's secure and they're great blackout curtains. So that's a really great addition to the van. Over in our first cupboard, and the cupboard at the back, is where we keep our walking boots and some camping supplies. So currently in here we have a little pop-up fire pit, which we can use at campsites or down at the beach when we're out and about. We have a citronella candle, which obviously is important for keeping away the bugs at night. And then finally, we have a little box of equipment for camping. So some extra pegs, a mallet and some power pegs, which we use for our awnings when we're out and about at campsites. Now just behind me is the second cupboard under our sofa, and this is where we keep all of our kitchen equipment. So let me just run through what we have in there. So most importantly, we have our stove. So a really simple gas stove that we can then use on the pop-up table just at the back of the van. We also have our frying pan, our kettle, our ridge monkey, which we've yet to use but need to look up some recipes to use on that. Chopping boards, trays, placemats, all the stuff you'd expect to see in a van, alongside obviously spare cloths, our cutlery pot, and then no van can be without its spare loo roll. Now, under these cupboards is also perfect for fitting a couple of boxes, which we actually managed to measure perfectly. In this cupboard, we have 2 of these boxes, which fit brilliantly next to each other. And in here, we have our knives, our utensils, napkins, crockery, and everything that we need for time away in the van. As I said, we have 2 of these. And in the other one, we also have spare mugs, matches, some washing up liquid, and the all-important wine glasses for a little tipple just as the sun goes down. The final thing we have in this cupboard, and something that no van should be without, is of course a collapsible wash basin. So that is actually our kitchen cupboard, and as you can see, we can fit an awful lot in there. We've added a few little extra touches to the van just to make it a little bit more personal to us. So the first thing are some fairy lights, which are just some really simple lights from IKEA. And all we've done is actually added in some hooks just at the top of the wood so that we can screw them in and hang the fairy lights over them. The van does actually have some bigger lighting on the roof, but this can sometimes be a little bit stark, especially at night. So actually the fairy lights just add a really lovely little cosy touch when we're staying in the van overnight. We've also got a few bags here which can just be used for storage. We've got our little octopus that we bought in St David's. and also our little flag just to remind us just to get out there and enjoy some adventures. Okay, so you might be thinking, where do you put everything? Because actually this van looks really clean and tidy, but in reality, this isn't how we travel. So there are a few extra things that go in the back of the van when we're out and about and going on a trip. The first thing are our passenger robes, so really important when we're heading out for hikes or going for wild swims. The next thing is our all-important food box. So in here we have some light lunches, some porridge pots, some trail mix, obviously tea and coffee, so that we've always got plenty of snacks ready when we're out and about and on the go. The next thing is our 12-volt electric cool box. So we can either plug this in if we're somewhere with mains electricity, or actually plug it into our van itself, or equally just use it with some ice packs. It's obviously really handy for any hot trips or if we're out and about in the summer. And the final thing is our water bottle. So this is a 20-litre water bottle, probably a little bit excessive for the length of trips that we take, but always really handy when we're heading out and about or going for more of an off-grid adventure. The final piece of the puzzle when it comes to storage for our little caddy is our roof box. Now, the first trip we took in our caddy, we actually didn't have a roof box, and at night we found that we just had too much stuff in the back of the van, and it meant that actually some of it had to be stored outside, which just didn't really work for us. So we found this on Facebook Marketplace, and it's been an absolute game changer in terms of our trips. It's a lovely big roof box, and in it we've got all of our essentials. So we've got our camping chairs, we've got our bedding, so our pillows and our duvet and our sheets. And we've also got a set of chocks for if we head anywhere that isn't flat, it means we can get a really nice flat park up and have a really good night's sleep. One final detail to share before we get set up for night mode is the electrics panel. So we've done our best to create night mode on a very sunny blue sky day in Cornwall, but we have our little panel here. So off this we have our main lights. We also have some blue lights which run across the side of the top of the van. And we also have our USB socket, which we can plug in our phone chargers and also any little fairy lights. And this all runs off a split charge system, which can be found just underneath the passenger seat. The final bit of the tour is onto the cab, and actually it's a pretty standard cab for a short wheelbase caddy. The only changes that have been made is that we've got these seat covers on here just to try and keep them protected, but under the seat covers are a rather retro original pattern. The other thing to note about the cab is that it's got a few bits of extra storage. So we've obviously got the glove compartment here, and we've also got an overhead shelf, which is great for keeping things like clothes and toiletry bags when we're away on trips. We've also got the curtains which close off the cab to the sleeping area, which means that it's extra cosy at night and gives us just that little bit more privacy. One final detail is that we have a cover that goes over the windscreen for the van. So if we decide to sleep with the curtains open here and give ourselves a bit of extra space in the sleeping area, that cover just gives us a bit of extra privacy and makes sure the van stays nice and dark at night time. If you've got this far, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed our tour, and we hope you'll follow along for more of our adventures.